Hey guys, me again. Well, like I told you in my TAC 8 review I posted last night, I'm going to be doing a video today. Basically, it's going to be, well, Autococker versus Automags. That's been a debate that's been ongoing for God knows how long, and will probably continue until the end of time, until nobody plays paintball anymore. Which, well, I don't think will happen for, decades or maybe even a couple hundred years, because the sport rocks. But, anyways, so, let's take a look at two markers respectively in my debate. The Autococker grew out of course, as you're fully well aware, the Sniper 2, which was invented by Bud and Jeff Orr, who eventually moved in and made the Autococker, which was manufactured by WGP, or Wargame Products, and was very, very successful, and to this day still continues to have success in that almost all the high-end markers, and even some more basic electro stuff like my Rex Type R, which, it's a really, really basic electro gun, but, it's got eyes, it does the job, and it runs cocker thread barrels, which means I can go and buy a barrel just about anywhere that will fit. So that's a good thing. That's one thing that Cockers really had going for them, was the fact that their barrel system really became the de facto high-end standard. So, let's examine the Autococker for a minute. So, go to the Sniper 2, which was a pump gun. Somebody said, hey, let's slap some pneumatics on the front and, do some stuff and make it that when you fire it and you keep pulling the trigger back, it will actually pump itself. Hence the term autococker, or auto-cocking pump gun. So, autocockers are great. I've actually fired a few. I used to own an E2 eagle-bodied cocker, which was nice. But the thing is with autocockers, if you're not familiar with the operation, like the operational mechanics, you get one, well, it's going to be a hard road, because you're not really going to know what to do. So, it is what it is. So, I would say stay away from them. If you're a brand new player to the sport, you really don't know sort of like the logistics of a lot of markers. Now, so, how does an automag, or not an automag, an autococker, pardon me, function? Well, you've got a three-way, a RAM, an LPR, and a couple of other parts on the front block. And they're all interconnected with some housing. Then there's a rod that connects the trigger to the three-way. There's also another rod that connects from the front to the back block, which allows for the cocking action, because the back block pulls back, catches the cocking rod, yanks the bolt and the hammer backwards, cocks the gun, and then slides back forwards, closing the bolt, and then you can pull the trigger and bang, out goes your bolt, as autocockers are a closed bolt like most pump guns, which is very rare in a semi-auto these days. Not many closed bolt semi-autos exist anymore. So that's sort of the basic operation of the autococker. Now, why people thought the autococker was, why they looked at the debate and they thought it was a lot better. Well, there's a myth that a closed bolt is not only smoother, but will also shoot farther. And that's not actually true. A closed bolt, while it's at rest, if you were going bang, and then reloading, like the cocker would cock itself again, and then you were firing a single shot, and then recocking the gun. If you were doing that very slowly, it might be a very stable platform. However, with that said, the autococker was designed so that if you time it right, which is the process of making sure everything happens in the right sequence, if you time it right and you adjust your trigger correctly, you can make it that the pull between the gun firing and the gun recocking is so tiny that you just sit there and you just tap the trigger, and the thing's going crazy and the back block's moving, moving like 90. And the thing is, admittedly, unless you're really holding it steady, it's a bit all over the place. So I would say that a closed bolt is no more accurate than an open bolt. And nor is the reverse true. So that's sort of my opinion on that. Do they shoot farther? Hell no. The only barrel I've seen that's been proven to shoot farther than a standard barrel is the Tippmann flatline. And even then, you have to have your velocity down lower than most, so you're not breaking paint in the actual flatline barrel, because they're sensitive. I don't know why, but they are. And then not only that, but I've played in games with flatline users shooting at me, and they'll shoot at the extreme range of the barrel, and I've quite literally reached up and caught a ball, as it was just, sort of sailing on by. it was going slow enough that it wasn't going to break on me. And I just reached up and caught it, and I actually, funnily enough, I actually stuck that ball in one of my pump guns and then shot the Tippmann A5 user with the same ball he fired at me. So, I mean, that just shows you that, you know, all this BS about barrel systems and closed bolt and it being firing farther and all sorts of that jazz, it's all bullshit. So, you know, forget it, throw it out the window for the purposes of this debate. So that's the autococker side. Let's look at the automag side. The automag side was designed by, the automag rather, was designed by Tom Kay of ADG, or AGD, which is Air Gun Design, pardon me, I'm getting a little tongue-tied. And it's very interesting. It's very similar in design to, say, an Ion or a DM or any number of spool valve guns. You've got, it's kind of a neat piece where your regulator, and also your regulator and how everything adjusts is actually all one piece. If you've looked at a mag, you've seen that you've got your regulator at the back, then your bolt and your power tube and everything slide onto that. Then there's a spring, and then that whole thing slides into the body of your gun, you screw it in, and you're good to go. Well, that's the beauty of the Automag. You can, you know, very few moving parts. Literally most problems with an Automag, which are, say, it's leaking, can be solved with either replacing some O-rings, which can be a bit of a time-consuming process because there's some real small ones, say, in the on-off assembly, the on-off pin on the regulator. Or I've had it where I've had an Automag leak and it was simply, okay, throw some gun oil in it, you know, air it up, and fire the heck out of it for a while, and the leak just stops. It just needed some lube. So let's take a look at the Automag, because it's got some neat stuff you can do to it. The Automag, you can have any number of different valves. You can have a classic valve, which is what most of the mags I've owned had, which is the original valve. It's designed for CO2. It's designed to run really, really good on CO2. It can run it when it's cold, when it's hot, it doesn't matter. It takes it. It's like a Palmer stab. You know, takes CO2 and just goes with it. You can also have the mini mag valve, which is a nice little valve made for the smaller body bags. You can have, after that, there is the RT valve, which is very interesting in that with its on-off pin, and you run a trigger frame that has a pin behind the trigger, you pull the trigger back, and as you're pulling the trigger back, it fires, then a burst of air actually pushes the trigger forwards. So you can go bang, bang, and you can make the trigger fire real fast because you're not pulling the trigger all the way back. You're only pulling it a little bit of the way, the trigger pin's doing the rest of the work, and then it's kicking the trigger back at you. Now, with an RT valve, or an RT Pro valve, or even say an X valve, which are all just evolutions of the same concept, what you can do, and this is kind of neat, is you can actually adjust your rate of fire by adjusting the pressure to the reg. So if you're like my buddy Mansell, who is actually known as Ratso on MCV, so if any of you Mag Region guys know him, you probably know that he runs a black micro mag with an X valve and an adjustable 8845 Armageddon tank. Well, he brought it over to my house, which I'm sitting in my basement right now. He brought it over one day, and the thing, he cranked it up. He took an adjustable wrench, and he just started turning the output pressure up, and up, and up. He put it up to about 1500 psi, and he says, here, take a pull. And if you're just pulling the trigger at a decent rate, like you're pulling it all the way back and kind of giving it a snappy motion like you would a normal gun, and then it's just one shot, just bang, 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 bang. If you pull the trigger back very slowly, what you get is you hit a sweet spot where the gun is firing, the trigger is bouncing, but it's hitting your finger and then rebounding, which means if you pull the trigger and hold it at a very specific spot with a high input pressure, you eventually turn the Automag into a fully automatic RT monster gun. I mean, literally, the Automag that Mansell has at 1500 psi was probably cycling damn near 35, if not faster. So you're looking at not many modern hoppers keeping up. The fastest gun I've seen as an Automag, actually it's on YouTube, I'll see if I can find it, I'll link it in the description. It's a guy that hooks an Automag with a Q loader up to a scuba tank and fires off a true 34 balls per second burst, and it is stunning to watch because there's no other gun I've seen, aside from I think an uncapped Ramping Timmy I saw 2 years back, that could even touch that. And that's impressive. That's technology that's been around for, I think AGD was started in, I think it was 1992 or 1993, maybe 94, that the Automag came out. It was the early 90s anyways. And with all these new valves that have come out since, and even AGD sort of having their star having faded, and they're not huge in the marketplace, but if you go over to their store, you can still order a brand new mag with all the options you want, an X valve. You can have an absolute monster mechanical gun. Cost you about, with the options, maybe $600 or $700. So the same as, any, mid-high-end level electro gun, but it will have a lot less maintenance, be a lot faster, and it's just kind of nice. It's a little bit more pure, to my mind, than say an electro flinger where you got to have the electronics relying to give you rate of fire. So that's the Automag side. I already earlier discussed sort of the Autococker side. Well, where are the two interrelate? Well, people have been at it for years and said, well, the Automags are faster, well, the Autococker's smoother, and yada 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 yada. And what I would say to all the people of MCB, and I know there's lots of guys that have run everything. I know I have. I've run Automags, I've run Cockers. I happen to like Sheridan pumps, which run a similar valve system to a Cocker. So when you're firing from there, they've got the same sort of a thunk feel as a Cocker firing. I've run, I'm now going to be running, because of the, you've probably seen in my video, I'm going to be trading off my TAC 8 for a Phantom, so I'm going to be running actually a Nelson-based pump, but alright, I'm getting a little bit away from things here, so I tend to do that, so I'll just swing myself back to the point here, and say, whatever you run comes down to this. Go out, play with honor, play with skill. If you're an Automag user and you get shot by an Autococker user, good game them and move on. Because odds are they were probably a little bit more in their game, and you know what, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what gun you have. I've taken out guys with DMs shooting an SL68-2 pump. On the reverse end, I've borrowed, back years ago when the DM series was new, I borrowed my buddy's DM4, and, I was blasting away with it and having a good old time with it, and I got shot out by, a kid with, I think it was some sort of I think it was like a Piranha GTI or a Spider or some mech gun. And I kind of felt stupid, but I thought about it and I thought, you know what, well obviously he was a little more in his game, he was a little more focused, and he got me. It doesn't matter that I was shooting a gun that, at that point was probably $1,500 or $2,000 after the setup was all said and done. Who cares? It doesn't matter that the old Autocockers used to be $3,000. Does it matter that your average Automag, if you're getting it to a real high-end level, could run you $1,000? No. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's paintball. So that's sort of my take on things. So, please do rate my video, do comment. Automag guys, Autococker guys, chime in. If you guys have a video response where you'd like to, refute one or refute the other or back one or the other, please do post it. Please do let me know. I'm going to be throwing this up on MCB in the Dead Zone. Twitter, Facebook are getting it too, so check those out there. Anyways, I gotta get going. I'm gonna have to go to work soon, but I'll be posting up some more videos, some more talks. So that's my talk for today, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.